I sit and I ponder life and all the values and instances of things that we may miss. Usually, I come up with profound things. In this 3D world that we're all reside in, if you was to take one of us back into the 18th century, 19th century, even into the 1970s or 80s. Most of us millennials wouldn't really understand how to make it in that type of world. Society moves or evolves in different ways. We look at evolution as animal to animal, is when it's really a different iteration of the previous design. It could go up or it could go down. And it's all based off of the human mind. Whatever we think up, we create. We create the car, the plane, houses, the design of houses, TVs, radios, instruments, chairs. We create everything. It all starts here. Once a society decides on a concept or a design of society that they want, they all usually work together to manifest that society. And you can trick people into doing this thing unbeknownst to them through a number of things. So you could take one of us back to the 80s. You could take somebody from the 80s and thrust them through time into now, and they wouldn't even grasp the idea of these things. Now, would they be able to adapt? Absolutely. Will you be able to adapt? Absolutely. It takes time though. But with that being said, it all really starts here. At first, it's foreign, it's different. It's not what you typically envisioned for your future. But then there's this thing where, should it? Should your future look like your past if no other person's past looks like their future? I mean, if you ask people 10, 20, 30 years ago how they envision the future, they would tell you exactly what it looks like now, except for we would have more flying cars. But think about how cheap it is to fly in a plane, or how many people are in helicopters that are millionaires. Do you think that many people were doing that type of stuff? These things happen gradually. It may not happen in the time span or the speed that one desires, but these things happen. So what is our future? What is the design in the future that we hold in our mind's eye? What is that? What does it look like in 20 years? What is the world that you want your children to grow up in 20 years? I think that's what we should start talking about instead of talking about what is happening in the world, because that's a dead world. That's an old world. I always bring up this same concept. It's the phoenix. It dies and becomes reborn every so often. It's immortal. Is that not what we are? Is that not what we are? Yes, energies transform, but you're always reborn, depending on the level of intellect that you possess before you transition. Just think about it, man. Do you want to live in the 50 where you understand the transition and you're able to perceive the transition? Or do you want to stay in the 30 where you're ignorant and then afraid of every single thing that gets in your path? Think about it. Crypto's out there, right? Got flying cars, Jetson 1, they call it. You have the government doing whatever they're doing with the madness. Is that the world that you want? Or do you want to create something different? Or do you not want to be free? Because this place, this land, this place that we're at in the Americas, we're like this place is like the beginning of all civilizations. Like, it always transforming, and it takes the world with it. You may not think like that, but you may now start to. So I'm Furious Black. Peace.